Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wayne's World of Science and Technology, where today I'm going to bring up a couple quick points and ask you to think about them. One, Iran's lack of water. This may seem like a strange thing to bring up, but just consider. You have a country that has a fairly large population and is practically out of water. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think these people are going to do to survive? Yeah, if they can't fix their water problem, we're talking massive refugee crisis. Okay, so let's talk about Myanmar, who everybody keeps on ignoring. The war still goes on there. They're still fighting. And the Tatmadaw is still basically committing every war crime in the books, including some they appear to have invented especially for the occasion. But nobody talks about it. Okay, so let's mention the Chinese population crisis, which is something everybody does talk about, but not what the real problem is in China. Now, Peter Zions made a huge fuss about the Chinese population crisis, and it is an issue, definitely. What Peter doesn't talk about is the fact that half of China is now a toxic waste dump. I've looked at a lot of reports and studies, and some of the major cities are literally sitting on toxic waste dumps. But people keep living there, and the Chinese government doesn't bother fixing it. This is what you call bad, bad, bad. I mean, it's stupid, for one thing, but yeah. Okay, let's talk about Russia's latest idiocy. Or rather, let's not, because we've been talking about them all the time. Let's just skip Russia. Who wants to talk about them? We got Brazil. Brazil, they're having this wonderful problem with the former president. I have no idea what's going to happen there. I do know that this sort of thing tends to be a little bit divisive. There's a nice word, divisive. It could have Brazil fighting it could have a dozen different groups in Brazil fighting each other, basically, if they don't get it under control. I have no idea what the hell is going to happen there, but anyways, then let's talk about Venezuela. Venezuela, the oil capital of the world, which can barely keep gas on the streets. Yeah. Venezuela, where corruption ran so rampant that they stole everything that they could steal, then they basically unbolted everything that was left and stole that as well. I pity the poor people of Venezuela. They did not deserve us. How about Argentina? Argentina is another interesting case. You have a president who has a bunch of really wild ideas that he says will absolutely fix everything, but he appears to be instead breaking everything deliberately on purpose. Why? I don't know. I just know that's what it looks like he's doing. Okay, let's talk about Mexico. Mexico's got their drug cartel problem. Well, everybody knows about that. That is not something that is going to be easily fixable. And quite frankly, I would not care to be the person told to fix it, because I would have no idea what to do. How about Africa? South Africa's got some really interesting issues as well. Again, it's heavily corruption oriented. There are people who've basically been ripping the South African state off right, left, center, and sideways for the last several decades and getting away with it. Look up the Guptas. The Gupta brothers are really, really famous in South Africa, and they should be more famous worldwide because they did a hell of a lot of damage. Okay, we got Egypt. Egypt's got this problem. It's called the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal is currently not being used very much because the Houthis have been tossing missiles at ships. This is a huge problem because Egypt depends heavily on canal revenues, and they don't got them. Okay, let's talk about the Saudis. The Saudis are pumping out oil like crazy. And the question is why? I've heard a couple people who think that it's because the Saudis are trying to get rid of it while they still can, that they think oil is going to basically drop in price dramatically. They could be right. I don't know. That's one of those things. I have a suspicion oil is going to come down because of the amount of electrification, but I couldn't tell you where the prices are going to go. It's not my area of expertise. And so there's a bunch of disconnected, but definitely dangerous problems that are basically bopping around the world. A lot of this stuff is quite capable of spreading. When I say quite capable of spreading, in cases where you've got criminal groups, when I say criminal groups, I mean corrupt officials as well, things can get really out of hand. And not just out of hand in the country there, but spreading into another country and causing problems there. And yeah, basically, you can consider it like cancer. It metastasizes. I hope I pronounced that right. And it's basically, the world needs to get its act together and try and get some of this stuff under control. I know that. I don't know how we're going to do it. I know that's not a hell of a lot of help to anybody, but I'm just thinking while I'm walking and trying to put together something that actually shows you my level of concern, the sort of things I've been watching. Anyways, that's it for now, folks. Like, share, subscribe, and all that guff. You got something out of it, and have a good day.